BarnesandNoble.com or buy one right over there at Buy Nevada First.
Right over there. Buy Nevada First. You write a column for the Wall Street Journal. How can we read that column?
You can find that on MarketWatch. If you Google Ken Roberts MarketWatch, that will take you to my columns on retirement planning.
All right, Ken. And last but not least, how can we contact you to have you take a look at our portfolio?
You can give me a call anytime at 775-825-4555.
All right, Ken, thanks for the opening report. Hope to hear back from you for a final report this week on AM News.
Thanks.
All right, it's Ken Roberts, Fat Tail Trading. Check him out. Have him look at your investment portfolio. It's never too early. I don't care if you're 25, 35, 45. Have him look at what you're doing. Make sure you're doing it right, and you'll get to the goal that you want for retirement.
That's right.
Yeah, we can attest to that, right, Jimbo?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Need to have a plan.
Right.
Even if it's not a good plan, you need to have a plan.
Yeah, but I planned it out.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the third world country where they don't plan for retirement. They just live off the land there, sleep in tents. It's kind of like Burning Man every day out there, where the pavement ends and the sand begins. The town slogan is, huh? We're talking about Silver Springs, Nevada, the home of the longest continuous burning tire fire and the native home of most camels that live in North America. It's Aaron. Hey, Aaron. What's up?
Hey, it's a very brisk 35 degrees right now, but we're expected to get back up towards 70. It's been suntan weather out here all week. Now, I don't know about the Burning Man scenario, because I know at Burning Man there's naked girls running around all over. I don't see any of them out here right now, so I don't know if we could be compared to Burning Man. But, hey...
you got one naked man running around, right?
Yeah. One of the all-time maritime mysteries, the Conestoga, was found this past week. People don't remember what happened there. Back in the 20s, this ship sailed off. It was headed out, and of course the Navy sold themselves, see the world, be part of the Navy, join the Navy, see the world. All these guys get on this boat thinking they're going to Hawaii. It never made it there. They found the boat 30 miles off the San Francisco coast here this past week. And probably, here's what kind of is a little caveat there. There's about 300 boats in this area that have sunk over the years, and they're trying to chart and map them, and that's how they found it. They were able to say positively this was a Conestoga by a 50-millimeter gun they found in the hull. So
What was the
a lot of people have wondered what happened to their family, where their father was, their grandfather, stuff like that. So, what's that, Jim?
What was the boat? What was the sail? What was the route? What was going on?
What kind of boat was it?
They were actually on their way to Hawaii to, the Samoan Islands is where they were going.
Was it a battleship or?
You know what? The picture doesn't look like a battleship.
Couldn't have been a battleship. Had to have been like a destroyer escort or.
So it was a military.
Yeah, it was a tugboat basically. It was a workhorse for the Navy. Is what the boat was at the time. So, but yeah, that's kind of good news for all the people that were lost on the boat and for the families that have been wondering where their grandfather was, for example.
Did they say how deep the water was where it sank?
No, they just said it was full. The waters are infested with white sharks. The great whites migrate there and feed off the whales that migrate through that area. So,
nice.
Probably why they didn't find it at first, because of the sharks.
No, they just sent down like a robot or something like that, like a robot submarine.
Well, now they have. Back in the 20s, they didn't have that technology going.
Oh, hell no. But they didn't say how deep it was or anything like that.
I didn't catch that part in the article. It just said it was about 30 feet off the coast. That's not very far out.
30 miles.
So, but or 30 miles, not very far out. But you got to remember, off that San Francisco Bay Area right there are a lot of deep caverns, valleys, if you will, underwater there, because the San Andreas Fault shoots out right through the San Francisco Bay up there. So you have a lot of rough terrain under the water, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of rocks, too. The water gets deep and then shallow, and a lot of ships, even in the sailing days, coming into San Francisco from the south, it was pretty dangerous. You had to swing wide, and a lot of captains wanted to save time, and they would pile up on the rocks there. So,
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, you can see the land, so you'd think, I'm safe, I'm far enough away, but yeah, not so
I think
much.
that's why they put the lighthouse out there with the buoys to warn the people. Yeah, that is a treacherous coast there if you're sailing. Yesterday, in closing, I mentioned an investigation going on that involves the housing of urban development, and one of the names that keeps popping up is Julian Castro. Now, I don't know if his name keeps popping up because he is actually the Secretary of Housing of Urban Development, or if his hands are involved in what has happened here. But there's a company called Sage Asset Management, and they also are tied together with PEMCO, which is a real estate sales company, and that is very taboo. Sage was awarded a contract, and here's where it gets dicey. The contract they were awarded is for 25 states in the United States. The contract is supposed to go to small businesses. There is no way that a company operating in 25 states can be classified as a small business, quote unquote.
Right.
So they get this award for to do this, and they're cleaning up the foreclosed properties, the disarrayed properties and whatnot, and then the real estate company is selling them. They have been tied. PEMCO and Sage have been tied together with family members on the paperwork for the companies, and that's what makes this really bad. So there's a serious potential reversal in the award that happened there because there's this conflict of interest. But again, did Julian Castro do something? I don't really know. That hasn't come out. And this is just me. I think his name keeps popping up because he is the Secretary of HUD, and not that maybe something has gone wrong. But at the same time, as a Secretary of HUD, just like everything else, if the buck stops here, he is the one signing paperwork over there. So we'll see how that's an article we're following. And as I said, more information on that over on foreclosurepedia.org. We'll be getting into that over the weekend. You can guarantee that, probably doing a podcast or something.
Cool.
Got some great news. I think another domino may have fallen on this GMO food labeling front. It was announced this week, General Mills, they're going to start labeling U.S. products that contain genetically engineered ingredients. This is what Jeff, I hope I say the gentleman's name right, Harmenian, he's the General Mills Chief Operating Officer for the U.S. retail sector. Vermont state law requires us to start labeling certain grocery store food packages that contain GMO ingredients or face significant fines. We can't label our products for one state without significantly driving costs up for our consumers, and we simply will not do that. Again, we have a situation where let's get in front of this. They're joining Campbell's. They're going to get in front of it. There is a big deal about the Honey Nut Cheerios because of everything that is in Honey Nut Cheerios. There's artificial sweeteners. There's cornstarch, of course. And again, we go back to the corn issue, GMO products in the corn and stuff like that, and of course the glyphosate issue because they spray the wheat, barley, and some of these crops to dry them.
I love Honey Nut Cheerios.
Really?
No, I love them. Honey Nut Cheerios, I love them.
Yes, and here's what's kind of a little twist of irony, if you will. General Mills spent over $1 million opposing the Labeling Initiative 522 up in the state of Washington a while back. Of course, they are a member of the Grocery Manufacturers Association, and that is just a huge, again, hand in hand with Monsanto. They've been working. According to this here, their poll that they did has 93% of Americans support the labeling of GMO. So we keep seeing that number creep up. When I started talking about it, it was around the 87 mark. It's gone up 6 percentage points in the last year or so. So I think more and more, we're seeing more and more people starting to become very cognizant of this GMO issue and what is going on. And just a little bit, here's something about glyphosate. We've all heard the term half-life, usually talking about radium or some kind of nuclear fallout stuff. They call it half-life. Well, it takes approximately 174 days for glyphosate to actually break down in the soil, and that is because the molecules bind to the soil. And why do they bind to the soil, folks? It's because it's a metal cleaner and it's sucking the metal out of the soil. That's what it's supposed to do. So when you have, there's no transference. It doesn't get washed away. It stays in the soil. So when you're looking at something that breaks down 174 days, you're looking at 6 days short of 6 months. If you spray your crop in the first part of the year, the middle part of the year, and at the end of the year, like they're doing with this glyphosate, you have this in the soil 24/7, 365. It's in the soil around the year. So you really have a depleted soil to work with, and the food's not producing the healthy vitamins and minerals and everything that it's supposed to, that it normally would do under conventional growing means. So this is, and there's more studies coming out on this glyphosate. It's been linked now to 15 different types of cancer. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, I still remember the commercial of the dog running out in the yard, can't find the bone, he can smell it, it's underneath this big massive tree, he goes and gets the bottle of Roundup, sprays the tree, it dies, and he digs his bone up, safe for your animals. Mm-hmm. They were sued over that commercial for false advertising. So,
wow.
Well, yeah, it's not a... It's like I'm saying, it was a collateral effect is what it was when it killed vegetation. It was an accident. It was not designed to do that. So it really isn't an herbicide. It's a chemical to clean what they call chelating from boiler pipes is what it is.
All right, Aaron, if we want to get involved and help in that, how do we contact you at Alladay LLC?
775-230-9915. Look for more information on foreclosurepedia.org over the weekend on that HUD issue there, folks. www.alladayllc.com. Hey, it's going to be gorgeous out today. Let's have a good time. Let's all be safe out there.
All righty. And your assignment for tomorrow is find out more about that Conestoga, the boat that sank.
Yeah.
You bet.
All righty, Aaron. That's Aaron out in Silver Springs, Nevada. And tomorrow we'll know more about the Conestoga than most people. Jim, what do you say we take a quick break before the top of the hour here?
Sure.
Yeah, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay.